Networking and marketing made simple is for you, the business owner who has a product, a service, or a message that you believe in. My name is Scott Aaron, and each week we'll take a behind-the-scenes look into the real-world marketing and networking tactics and strategies for getting what you have in front of you to a lot more people. Thanks for spending time with me, and now let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode and another special episode because
I'm here.
Nancy's here. So we're tending to do these about once a month now. And, we wanted to talk about the three main reasons why LinkedIn still needs to be a focus for you. If you are that business owner whose ideal client or the person that is best served by what you're offering is a business professional, people are still not fully leveraging or understanding why LinkedIn. People are still kind of in that monotonous routine of Facebook and Instagram and now TikTok for the time being. Even YouTube. And again, it's not saying that those platforms are not important. You know, Nancy and I both have YouTube channels. We're both on Facebook. We're both on Instagram. But we know the people that we serve best and that are going to get the best results from what we specifically teach is those that are spending time on LinkedIn. And that is why 2 times a year, we actually do a 5-day workshop called the Amateur to Expert 5-day workshop for LinkedIn. And it's actually coming up in about a month. It's at the end of April 24th to the 29th. It's live and recorded so people can, we have people that end up signing up from all over the world. Some people can be on there live because Monday through Thursday, it's from 8 to 9 p.m. EDT. Friday is 5 to 6, and Saturday, which is a bonus session, is actually from 11 to 12. So we do have people that watch the replay. So we make them available for 10 days after we're done. So you'll be able to watch back until the following Sunday, which I believe is May 4th or May 5th, somewhere around that. I mean, obviously you can look at the calendar, but the following Sunday after we wrap, you will be able to continue to watch these replays. So what we're going to do is in the description of our podcast episodes, we're going to leave the registration link where you can sign yourself up. And obviously this workshop changes every year because LinkedIn changes every year, but we focus on the pillars of making sure that your profile is optimized, you're building the right ideal client network, you're connecting with the right people, you're messaging the right way, you understand the phone conversation or Zoom conversation that needs to happen in order to acquire new clients, but also a content creation strategy that builds your expertise out on the platform. So you're going to learn all that and more. We're actually going to also teach you a little bit about ChatGPT and how you can leverage that platform to come up with creative ways and other topics to bring back to your LinkedIn content. So again, it's not a ChatGPT training. It's just using the tool. If you're stumped on what you can create, obviously we're going to show you exactly how to do so. So we're going to be doing a live demonstration on the live Q&A call, which is Saturday, the 29th of April. So again, all you have to do is go to the description of the episode and you can register yourself, and we would love to have you. So on to today's topic, which are the 3 significant reasons why you need to pay attention to LinkedIn and leverage it. So, number 1, it's understanding who your ideal target audience is and where they are spending their time. So Nancy, how important is it to understand about your ideal client target audience and where they're actually spending that time?
Well, Scott, it's very important. It's interesting because I've actually been doing a lot of research on, marketing strategy and some additional ways to really validate our business and ensure that we're, obviously generating leads and we're profitable and we're marketing marketing ourselves appropriately. And, one thing to really dig into is, okay, you might have this amazing business idea and you might be a coach or a consultant or an advisor or someone who's helping someone. But if you haven't really thought about, okay, well, how am I actually going to generate leads? How am I going to find these ideal people? It's something you need to take the time to do. And so, yes, first step is understanding who these people are, right? You got to know your audience. You got to know your niche, market, the people that you're really trying to attract, because it really affects everything that you do online, right? How you're putting yourself out there, what kind of content you're creating, and then obviously what platforms you're showing up on and make the most sense for your business, right? I can't tell you how many times I talk to people and they're like, oh, well, I should be on everything like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, like, everything under the sun. And when you really do some digging and you find out, okay, well, your audience is mostly business, CEOs, business owners, things like that. So does it really make sense for you to be over here on Instagram? On a platform where, yes, there are a lot of ways to generate leads. And I'm not saying you're not going to still maybe pick up some of these people. But if you really want to get the most bang for your buck and you're going to spend your time more productively and obviously, generate those really leads that you want, it might make sense for you to move over to a platform like LinkedIn and really spend the time and focus. So going back to your question, it is important to know your audience, right? It's important to know exactly who you're trying to attract. And then obviously that leads to, where are they at? So LinkedIn is a great place to be able to really invest time and energy into generating leads.
Yeah. And I think another thing that goes into that is, for me, I really feel that this is going to lead into number two, even though it's really important to understand, where your target audience is hanging out, meaning where are they spending their time, where are they networking, where are they connecting with people. This brings me to number two, which is, where can you most easily acquire clients when you're offering a premium price offering or a product or a course or a program. And this is something that's really important to understand, because the second point that we want to make is understanding the demographics of your ideal client. So if you've defined that it is important for you to understand where your ideal client is spending their time. The other thing you need to understand is the demographics within your ideal client. So Nancy and I know that we typically work with people that are anywhere from 35 to 75 years old. It's a very wide range. We have people in our programs that are of millennial age, but we also have boomers on up. But what we do know is that, there is an understanding that needs to be had of the income that people are making on LinkedIn compared to that of Facebook and Instagram. So if you look at some of the general statistics of Facebook and Instagram, the average age is 18 to 29 with a yearly income of $30,000 a year or less. And that is not putting down those platforms or those people, but you have to understand, if you're going to be targeting business professionals, you need to know where the business professionals are hanging out. Now, again, if you look at compared to LinkedIn, where the average age is 35 to 55 with a yearly income of $70,000 to $100,000 a year or more, now you're understanding where those people are. Not only are they business professionals, but they are making the money that is requiring them, when they are ready to make that decision, to invest in something like what you have to offer. So the second big point is understanding that you need to understand the demographics of your ideal target market. And that's why Nancy and I are doing most of our connecting and our networking and even prospecting on platforms like LinkedIn, because we know that there are business professionals on there that can benefit from what we have to offer. So when we do talk about our programs and our courses and our mastermind that we have, and we tell them what the investment is, it's not like, oh my God, I can't even afford that. It's like, oh, I see the value in that. And that is something that I really feel could benefit me and what I'm looking to do. I want to make that investment. Because the number one thing that we hear from people is that there are so many people that love what they're doing, meaning they love you and your offering and your courses. But when it comes to make that financial decision, they can't press go because they don't have the monetary means. So the big thing is that understanding the monetary demographics of who you're connecting with and who you're networking with is really important, because that's what's going to translate into revenue into your business. Everyone blames themselves. I'm not good at sales. I suck at sales. I can't close people. It's not that you're not good at sales or you're not closing people. You're just talking to the wrong people. You're not fully understanding the demographics of who you're connecting with and who you're networking with. So, Nancy, again, anything that you wanted to add to point number 2, which is really understanding the deeper analytics and demographics of your target audience?
I mean, yeah, I guess, I mean, if we're focusing on, again, like niching and narrowing down and just getting more specific about the audience, I mean, yeah, it's always important, right? You know, and if we're going to use LinkedIn to focus on that, I mean, one of the reasons why I love LinkedIn as a platform so much is, you know, even let's say with the free version, you can search, right, by location, you can search by, you know, position, you can search by title. You can really narrow down the types of people that you're looking for. Now, of course, we don't talk a ton about the paid version, but you know, even with Sales Navigator, the level of searching and filtering that you can do is just unheard of. I mean, if you guys want to actually get as specific as I want to search for the CEO of a company who's been active on LinkedIn in the last 2 weeks, who went to the same college as me. You know, I mean, you literally can get so granular like that, which is so, so fun. But again, I mean, whenever it comes down to marketing and getting yourself out there and closing people into your program, the more you know about, of course, your ideal audience and who they are, you know, again, like I said, the easier it's going to be to create the content and to really, you know, do your due diligence and put out stuff, you know, that's obviously going to build that know, like, and trust with them. So yeah, it's very important, again, to even get a couple layers deeper. And you can do that on LinkedIn.
So let's talk about the third and final thing. Obviously, is understanding where your ideal client or your target audience is hanging out is number 1. Number 2 is understanding the deeper granular demographics of those people, their age, their income, how likely are they to invest. And number 3 is understanding the difference between lead generation and client acquisition, because a lot of these get lumped together. And in my humbled opinion, and Nancy, I want to hear your thoughts on this as well, is lead generation ends up being a big buzzword. And I feel it's overused, because you see a lot of advertising out there, especially for platforms like LinkedIn, like, oh, you know, we can help you generate hundreds and thousands of leads on LinkedIn every single week, every single month. And what people need to understand, yes, it's very easy to generate a lead on LinkedIn. And a lead on LinkedIn is defined as a connection request that you send out and that person accepts it, which happens all the time. So it's not the easiest thing to do on LinkedIn is to generate leads, which equate to connections on LinkedIn. But where people are really struggling is converting those leads into paying clients, meaning client acquisition. And that's what Nancy and I love teaching people, because, yeah, you can generate leads all day long. You could have a huge network on LinkedIn, but is that network that you're building on LinkedIn actually providing revenue into your business? So, Nancy, let's talk a little bit more deeply about the big difference between lead gen as opposed to client acquisition, which is something that we really focus on teaching.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's part of the process. And, you know, I know that you and I, Scott, right? We we talk every morning, right? We're kind of like working out and getting ready, and we talk about things that kind of bother us, or maybe missing pieces or gaps or things like that. And, you know, how often do we see, to Scott's point, lead gen, you know, I can generate leads guaranteed, you know, 10 leads a month, or, you know, 12 leads a month, and all those wonderful things, right? Again, that's part of the process. It's like us saying, go out there and grow your email list. Okay, we could grow the heck out of our email list, but do you guys actually know how to, you know, warm your audience up into a purchase, and actually get people to pay? You know, we can say, oh, drive traffic to your website. We can do all these wonderful things. Again, lead gen. But how do we actually take those peeps and take them through our sales funnel and our buying process to actually close them? So I actually did my podcast last week on, my podcast, which is Entrepreneur Rescue Mission, steps to turn a lead into a paying client, right? I've been going down this, really rabbit hole in the last couple of months because I've been testing out some different CRMs, which is a customer relationship management tool. And basically, I've been testing some different things out because we really need to be better at what we do with these leads when they come into our space, right? Whether it's accepting the connection on LinkedIn, whether it's dropping into our email list, whether it's again dropping into a CRM, which there's lots of different tools, HubSpot, Salesforce, Close, literally there's like a million of them. But even in my podcast, as I was going through that, there's different things that different processes buyers need to go through in order to get to that point where they're ready to make a decision. And they're all different lengths of time that it takes people, right? Somebody could make a decision right away and go, oh my gosh, I need you. I've needed you for a long time. You came and you posted something and you connected with me on LinkedIn and I need you right now. To the people who are like, okay, I didn't even know I had this problem. And oh, okay, you can solve it. All right, let me, see some more of your stuff and kind of go on that journey. So I do think it's so incredibly important. And Scott, if you can remind me, what was the third main thing that you said?
Well, we're talking about understanding, where your ideal client is hanging out. The second thing is understanding the deeper analytics of that ideal client, but also the big difference between what lead generation is compared to client acquisition, which is happening all the time on LinkedIn when it's utilized the right way.
Yeah, got it. So, it's ensuring that you do have a strategy to nurture and to, again, continue to provide value, build that know, like, and trust. And, that can look, like I said, a lot of different ways. It could be, you posting consistent content, right? That really helps you show up as a thought leader so that when your people are ready to buy, right, they know exactly where to go and what you're the expert in. It could look like you actually reaching out, getting on calls with people and having a system where you follow up and you circle back and you make sure to touch base and, wishing people happy birthdays and all the, wonderful things. But, the great thing is we teach you guys in the workshop that we're doing, the Amateur to Expert. It's actually one of our workshops that does really well that people love. And we only do it a couple times a year now. And it really takes you through all the different things to do on LinkedIn so that you can use it to find the right people, to be very specific on who you're attracting. And then obviously we also talk about sales calls, having these calls with people and taking them on that journey from not just lead gen, right? Not just like, ooh, we get a new connection, but to actually taking them into a closed sale. In fact, we've even had people, I think, book calls, right? Like while doing the training, they're like, oh my God, I just booked a bunch of calls with people. And it's like, whoa, it works. But yeah, so this is like a blast of a training that we usually do. And, again, guys, it's coming up again. We'll put the link in the chat. But yeah, those are definitely three things and three reasons why. We continue to love LinkedIn. It's just a great platform. It's wonderful and it's just done wonders whenever it comes to growing and building amazing power partners and amazing clients as well.
So again, it's really understanding the difference between what a lead is compared to taking that lead and acquiring them as a client. Because again, you're not just looking to utilize LinkedIn to make money off of people. It's kind of a marriage between you looking for people to connect with where you can provide them value from what your offering is, but making sure you have the right people that are taking you up on your offering where they're going to get results. And this is also something that Nancy and I talk about. When you look at a profile like mine, where there's over 509 written recommendations on my profile, we've served a lot of people. We've helped a lot of people. We've gotten results for a lot of people. We actually had someone in our program right now let us know that they made more money in the first quarter of this year than they did all of 2022, just based on what we've been teaching them in our program. So obviously we go over all that and more in our 5-day Amateur to Expert on LinkedIn workshop. So we highly encourage you guys to join. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to learn all the strategies and the techniques of what we've put into place for our business to obviously grow and scale to where we are now, only having to work 3 days a week, because we do believe in running small but mighty businesses. So high profit, low overhead, which means high revenue, but also living more than working. It's having the ability to have your business running behind the scenes in the background and making sure that you're spending time with loved ones, with friends, with family, with your partner, doing things and having the monetary ability and the time freedom to do so. And we're going to teach you how to do that. So as Nancy alluded to, if you go to the description of this episode, you will have the registration link for our Amateur to Expert 5-day LinkedIn workshop, which we would love for you to join. So everyone, we hope you found today's episode helpful. Love and gratitude to each and every one of you, and we'll talk to you next time. Thank you so much again for checking out today's episode. And if you are listening through iTunes, Spotify, wherever you are, please leave me a rating and review. Let me know what you loved, what you would like to see improved, or ideas you have for future episodes. And if you are interested in taking your business to the next level, don't hesitate to go to my website, www.scottaaron.net, where you can schedule a free discovery call with me, where I can learn more about you, your business, what you're struggling with, and how we can work together. And don't forget to check out my wife, Nancy, and mine, our free community on Facebook called LinkedIn Leads for Life. We would love to see you in there. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you everyone for your support. Grateful for each and every one of you.